United Spurs of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into another edition of the United Spurs of America podcast with your hosts, as always, Michael and Jacob. Chelsea 2, Tottenham 2 at Stamford Bridge. Jacob, Battle of the Bridge 2.0. Late equalizer by the king of North London himself, Harold Edward Kane. How are we feeling, my friend?
I'm feeling like we just got away with robbery. I'm
did.
feeling like we fumbled and bumbled and jumbled for quite some time. Somehow, some way, them boys dug in deep, got the result. None other than Harry Kane. I mean, come on. You couldn't write it any better. You ask how I'm feeling. I'm feeling great.
Bro, I'm grateful because we were dominated. I'm not going to lie, for most of the match. And you can see it just in the stats, 36% possession. We were chasing shadows at times as well, especially in the first half. Now Conte, once again, making substitutions, making a real impact on the game. Let's go to Richarlison real quick, Jacob, because you've mentioned it on your pop-ups, and we've talked about it offline. But you're starting to be impressed by our new number 9.
I am. Richarlison is, I think whenever you saw the impact he had on the game, now I know, what up, Mile High Hotspur?
What's going on, Leo?
I just felt like the attitude of the team kind of changed right off the jump whenever he kind of came in. And he was pressing high up the pitch. I felt like Rodrigo Bentancur was the only one doing that. So, you know, it was it's good to see him. Good to see him come in and there be some kind of attitude adjustment on the pitch. I think that's one of the main reasons we brought him in, really. So that was good to see for me. But man, I wanna first shout out. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're just hit like 220 subscribers, so trying to get to 300. Appreciate any and all support. Putting down at the bottom there, the new link for our supporters is the Patreon. We've moved over from Anchor. Now we're on Patreon. You can find us there at patreon.com/United Spurs of America. Current patrons, the one and only Queen Ellie of Tottenham Till I Die.
10-inch club, baby.
Sole member of the 10-inch club.
10-inch club, baby.
Official sponsors consist of James George, J. Coe, Mile High Hotspur, that's Leo COYS, Scott M. And then we also have our Anchor Club members, that's C Cube, Ja Dank, and Alex Wood. So big ups. Thank you all
so
for
much.
the sponsors.
Thank you so much.
And even if you're not sponsoring financially, you can always just like, subscribe, hit that bell, figure out when the next thing's dropping. But big ups, man. Big ups. But big ups to Richarlison. I feel like he brought some good vibes. And when it comes to the good vibes and the attitude, and I think we've had good vibes before. We kind of see where that led us. But we need that attitude. We need some assholes, quite frankly. Excuse my French.
No. Don't excuse it. We're not financially supported yet on YouTube, but we'll get there one day. And you know how we're gonna get there one day?
So we can curse technically, right?
By you guys subscribing. Yeah, we can curse. By you
we
guys
can
hitting the like, by you guys hitting the subscribe. Any and all support, like Jacob mentioned, would be greatly appreciated. Jacob, same 11 as our opener against Southampton. Different performance. Wing-back play, in my opinion, was poor.
Tisk.
It was poor.
Tisk.
And it was really disappointing because particularly Sessegnon, obviously he had a chance to score in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Not much of an impact. When he got subbed out, we didn't really, feel that much of a loss, in my opinion. Emerson, just so ineffective going forward against Chelsea. And I had mentioned against Southampton afterwards in our recap how impressed I was with his passing and his composure in the final third. And I know, yeah, we didn't have a lot of possession, but when he was in tight situations where, he hits a key pass, more importantly, connects a key pass to the midfield or to play a 1-2, it was just non-existent, that threat on the right-hand side as well. When you're in a Conte system, man, what have we always said? The wingbacks are key, and the wingbacks need to be effective. That's how we turned the game around against Southampton, was with our wingback play, man. Sessegnon started to get going. Emerson looked bright as the game went along. It just was non-existent, and I think that went hand in hand with the lack of possession. And then I also wanted to touch real quick on the midfield as well. I thought Bentancur really, really struggled, and I thought it was his one of his worst performances in a long, long time. And it's disappointing to say, but Højbjerg, we can get into it in a little bit, Jacob, because I want to get your thoughts just in general on the 11. But Højbjerg, we had talked about it, has been getting a little bit of hate just for his performance in general against Chelsea. I thought he was fantastic in terms of holding tight in the midfield, staying strong, kind of keeping composed. Yes, he did make mistakes here and there, but he was really that engine in the midfield that turned the game around. Yes, I know Basuma came in and changed the game as well, along with Richarlison and Perisic as well late on. But I thought Højbjerg dug deep. He obviously scored our first to pull one back and equalize. I thought he was massive.
These kind of players like Pierre-Emile Højbjerg are the kind of guys you need in your squad, in my opinion. People refer to these kind of players as the janitor, the waste bin man. There's a million things you can think of to call these people, but the role that they play is crucial. If you don't have a garbage man, quite frankly, your town's going to get full of garbage and litter, and no one wants that. So Pierre-Emile Højbjerg for me was fantastic, as you said. I don't think Bentancur was that bad. I think it was just a matter of everyone being bad. You mentioned there on the wingback position. I thought they were our two worst players on the pitch, quite frankly. Yeah. I don't think they helped us out at all. I mean, when you look at either one of the goals, I know we'll kind of talk about them a little bit later on, but for me, I can't wait for Perisic to either be 100% healthy or to be the number one option. I feel like when he came on, even though it was limited, I felt like he still made a big. I mean, he got the assist for Harry Kane, so you could argue that without him, we don't draw there. But
yeah,
I'm just, when he comes on, it's like, damn, this is what a wingback is supposed to look like. Every time I see him, that's just my immediate response. Is like, man, this guy looks good. And it's like when Sessegnon or Royale do something, I'm like, is that good, or did they get lucky, or is it just a matter of what's up, Cubes? I see Cubes in the chat. Are part of our anchor club, puppy. Yeah, Chewy, he's back there. He's clanking around, making a lot of noise. But I just really felt like Bentancur, his performance was not good. I know he had that real controversial tackle on, what was that guy's name?
Havertz.
Is it Kai Havertz? Yeah. Skid Mark Havertz, whatever they want to call him.
You're talking about Bentancur, correct? Sorry. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
And I heard so many posts, if you're here in the States,
cry me a river.
Yeah.
Cry me a river. Look, what I will say is this. First of all, Jacob, I wanted to get into the goals conceded real quick, just to cover it. Okay. First off, Koulibaly hits a volley off of the corner.
Big ballies.
Dude, play that back 99 more times and he will not score that again. So look, but that aside, another goal conceded off of a corner kick. Sonny and other defenders standing around in no man's land, and Koulibaly's left all alone, wide open. Very, very poor, and it's honestly so disappointing and frustrating for me and frankly the rest of Tottenham fans, because we hired a set piece coach to get better and improve in these specific situations, these exact situations, and we still keep seeing the same mental lapses time and time again. Like, these guys just got to be mentally stronger, man. You got to be smarter. You have to be more mentally aware. You got to be more spatially aware when you're in the box. And look, for me, it was disappointing, but I will admit, play that back, like I said, 99 more times. I don't think Koulibaly hits it again. But what were your thoughts on the first one, Jacob?
The first goal to me, it just looked like a matter of. I mean, when I watched the replay back, I've been trying to watch games twice. That's what I've been trying to do, and then I also watch the key highlights after the second time I watch the game back, because I've learned that the first time I watch it back, I think I'm just too emotionally. Wherever the ball is kind of where my attention is, and so it's harder to kind of watch what people are doing off the ball. But watching it back kind of helps me do that. So watching back that first goal, honestly, it just looked like Emerson was like, hey, look, there's a guy over there unmarked. Someone get him. And Sonny was kind of, hey, someone's over there in the box unmarked. Someone get him.
Not me, not me.
It's just like, I understand he's a big boy. I mean, it just seemed to me, don't we have a set piece coach? I feel like maybe this man's struggling. We can't stop conceding on set pieces. We just can't stop conceding on set pieces. I don't know what the problem is, but I'm not too concerned because you're right. That was just a beautiful volley from Kula Big Ballies. This is a guy that I wanted us to bring in because I thought our back three struggled massively in both of those goals. But that first one, I kind of chalk it up to piss poor set play conversation between the players. When you're that far down the pitch, the coach can only yell so loud. And I don't, you know what I mean? At that point, it's up to either Hugo Lloris or Dyer or Højbjerg, whoever the generals are that kind of organize that thing on a corner or set pieces. They need to be more vocal because Emerson going, yeah, man over there, when it's Kula Big Ballies, and you got Sonny like, yeah, there's a man over there. I don't want Sonny marking Koulibaly. I don't want to see that. Why would you do that? You need Eric Dyer, or you need a big body. Maybe Kane needs to mark him. Maybe someone else. It just seems like miscommunication. So I'm not too concerned about it. I always knew that we were going to give up one on a set piece. I said we're going to give something up on a set piece. That's just it's pretty much a solid prediction for every game so far going forward.
Just simply got to be better. Just got to be better on set pieces. Let's go over the second goal.
Talk to your homie, man. Talk to your neighbor.
Communicate.
Just tell him what's up.
All right, man. Second goal, Reece James in the 77th minute to make it 2-1. Massive overload. I counted 7 white shirts on the right side of the pitch as Emerson was pushing up the field, passed it back, errant pass. I think it was, or was it Kulusevski? I forget. I think it was Emerson to Kulusevski. But anyways, 7 players on the right side of the pitch.
What are you doing?
Eric Dyer and Ben Davies left in no man's land for Sterling and Reece James. Dude, for me, the second goal was more frustrating than the first because everyone could see it as it was happening. I was like, Jesus Christ, why are there so many people around the ball? Spread out.
Didn't make sense.
Pass it around.
Yeah.
I get their pressing, but we have to be better in high pressure situations. And it was really frustrating. You could literally see the goal lined up as it played out. We knew Sterling wasn't going to shoot because he had already missed a sitter before that. But Reece James, easy as you like it. What did you see, Jacob? For me, it was just frustrating to see that many players on one side of the pitch, and you're screwing your teammates because the formation isn't there anymore.
What it looked like to me, because we kind of went to a back four there, because this was right after we what's up, Aaron Dub?
What's up, Aaron? He says massive overload. Yeah. You know what I meant.
Speaking of the massive overload there on the right side, Ben Davies, I'll say this. Even if Conte works his magic and he becomes like a moderate to decent to suitable center back for our system, he can't guard 2 people at once, Raheem Sterling and Reece James. Ben Davies is going to need a little bit of help. So really when I was watching it back is when I was really just like, can no one communicate? Can no one communicate and say, hey, there's too much of us over here. There's a lot of open pasture and a lot of cows coming to graze, so to speak. So it was really unfortunate because I felt like both goals are very preventable if we're more cohesive. I don't understand. Maybe because we switched to a different formation that kind of opened things up differently, because Richarlison coming on for Richarlison coming in for Sessegnon, it's like, who's our left wing back? Oh, well, it's a left back now. It's Ben Davies. I'm asking you, I'm like, what the hell's going on? You're like, we must have switched to a back four. So maybe it's just because he was trying something new. People always saying Conte need to try something new. But
To be fair,
I've never
he
liked
has the
Ben
players
Davies.
for it now.
I've
It's a
never
change
liked Ben
formation.
Davies on the left back, though.
No one.
If you're going to do that, bring Sessegnon on for Davies, go to a back four. Or bring Reggie on because he's a better left back, not a wing back. But it was just a breakdown in communication. Again, to me, it just looks like one of those things we can definitely clean up. So I'm not too concerned. If this is the best that Chelsea could bring us, I'm frothing. You know what I mean?
Hey, before we get into our goals, the next time we meet. Something different there.
Oh.
The next time we meet in North London, it's on. And you best believe Conte's going to bring his best, along with a, hopefully, even stronger squad with him.
Mm-hmm.
It remains to be seen. All right, bro. First half, let's go over the first half real quick. Very, very poor. Dominated for the majority of it. I mean, along with the rest of the game. But what was most concerning for you in the first half, and what were you kind of seeing?
What was most concerning for me was just how quickly motherfuckers want to turn on the savior, the Golden Boot champion, reigning Golden Boot champion, Youngman Daddy. That's why I wore this kit tonight. It's my Youngman son. Reece James was playing with Sonny like he was a ball of yarn. It was very unfortunate to see. I thought there was 2 incidents where Reece James should have definitely picked up a yellow, and unfortunately, he only picked up a yellow on one.
I think Jacob may have frozen. Oh. Jacob, you there? We're in the Matrix. This is now a solo stream, ladies and gentlemen, and Michael is now taking over. Nah, I'm kidding. But now let's go over the first half, everyone. It was very frustrating to see because for the majority of that half, we were just kind of chasing shadows, right? Obviously playing with a back 3-4-3. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, wing backs so ineffective. Midfield, they were just getting overrun. Conte, did a very good job with containing both Harry Kane and also containing our midfield to a degree as well. I thought it was really impressive by Chelsea. I can't lie. I thought Tuchel brought a really good game plan. Simple as that. So for me, it was a little bit unfortunate to see because I know Conte didn't want to make a change too early in the match, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think he could have maybe switched it up a little bit earlier in the first half, just kind of seeing how much we were getting dominated? For me, maybe like a Basuma comes in instead of Bentancur, but again, you could argue without Bentancur, we wouldn't have created that first goal, I guess. But for me, the first half was just disappointing, We had seen such a great performance against Southampton, and we had seen what we thought was Sessegnon and Emerson turning a corner. Bentancur had been continuing his great play, carrying over from the end of last season. Højbjerg now playing out of his mind over these past, 90 minutes, 180 minutes, right? But for me, it was just disappointing because I actually did think we were going to turn a corner, but it remains to be seen, man. I think we have a really good chance of bouncing back against Wolves, and we'll obviously get into that this Friday on our weekly live stream hosted right here on our YouTube page. This is another reminder to hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and also want to shout out our sponsors: James Joris, J.Co, Mile High Hotspur, Scott M, our Anchor Club members, C Cubed, Jaw Dank, and Alex Wood, and then of course the lone member of the 10-inch club herself, the Queen, Ellie Højbjerg. Ellie, if you're watching this back, I don't know if you're watching this live, but if you're watching this back or listening to this back, shout out to your boy, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I'll wait for Jacob to come back because I know he wanted to talk a lot about Højbjerg as well. But for me, like I said, disappointing, but I do think we have a chance to bounce back this weekend against Wolves. And hopefully, I think my boy is good to go.
I think we good. I don't know. I think my dog might have kicked over that internet, but This is part of the beautiful part about recording these episodes live, isn't it?
Everyone, let me know how I did solo. That was a little bit different, but
How'd you do? What'd you talk
I did
about?
well. I did well. Look at this. C cubed. How cute. Mike's still trying to stay on topic despite being by himself. And then Mile High Hotspur. Jacob froze like Nardwar.
Who's that?
You never heard of Nardwar? It's like never mind. Aaron Dub. Jacob now has a wankety wank face. Someone clip it. Yeah,
Clip
C
it.
cubed. You
Don't
need
do
to
it.
entertain us now by yourself.
How'd you do?
And he said, "Put that on a shirt, Mike." C Cube said, "Dance, Mike." Damn,
Nah.
I should have danced. We were actually talking about the first half, Jacob.
Yeah,
And
I was
saying
talking about
how-
Sonny. I remember.
Yeah.
What's the last part you heard me say? Because I started going on a rant, then everything went spiral and black, and I was like, "What's going on?"
You didn't start the rant yet.
Okay.
But we'll get into that in a minute. But I just wanted to get your overall thoughts on the midfield play, the wing backs, and then I was about to get into also Sonny, Kane, and Kulusevski. But I thought Bentancur unfortunately just kind of felt a little bit overwhelmed. I thought Conte did a really good job of containing Kane and also the rest of our midfield to a certain degree. And then obviously the wing back play was so ineffective that the midfield was getting overloaded. But I did shut up Pierre-Emile Højbjerg because I thought he played well, obviously. And I told them, though, that I wanted to wait for you because I know you had a lot to say about Højbjerg as well in terms of how impressive he's been recently. But for you, man, Højbjerg, the midfield, how are we feeling in the first half? And then I also opened it up, and some people replied, but I said, would you have liked to have seen an early change before halftime? Just because of how overloaded our midfield was, and Aaron Dubb says would have liked Perisic on at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, in general, what are your overall thoughts?
When we're talking about the first half, I don't care who you look at. I'm pissed at them. I didn't like anything that they did. Not a one of them. I mean, I guess there was some good shithousery from Romero, but like the midfield was non-existent. I thought they were trying, which is kind of what you only can hope for, but man, it was just unimpressive. But I feel like it'd be a little rude of me to say the midfield were so unimpressive. Højbjerg's ass. Like Højbjerg does do good things for us. I had people texting me saying that Højbjerg needed to come off at halftime. Sonny needs to come off at halftime. And I'm looking at like, man, the wingbacks. How does no one else see that this is clearly where they're attacking? They were going after Sessegnon like he had relations with their woman. You know what I'm saying? Reece James and who was up there on top of Reece James? Reece James and that other cat, they were taking advantage. Loftus-Cheek, that's who it was.
Loftus-Cheek, yeah.
They were taking advantage. I thought Loftus-Cheek was like a world-class player or something. The way he was bowing up versus Sessegnon. Like, I just thought Sessegnon showed us that hey, he may be good for the bottom half teams that we play. Like he might be decent versus Wolves. Wolves might be a top 10 team this year. So especially if they keep it done with Traore, but that's for later. But I think that Sessegnon just got overwhelmed by Loftus-Cheek and Reece James, who Reece James is a quality wingback.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you want in a wingback.
That is a wingback.
Jesus. So first half though, I thought Sessegnon was just getting he was getting targeted, kind of like how they target a lot of teams like to target Royale because they know he's a weak spot. It just didn't look good, man. Didn't look good. But I don't know if you bring in like a Basuma, like if we're talking about the midfield specifically.
I said
okay.
Basuma for Bentancur, but then I said, then the first goal wouldn't have been created without that Bentancur tackle.
Mm-hmm. And then
So
the
you could
Højbjerg
argue,
goal. And it's almost like these players, especially the Højbjerg type of players, they get a lot of flack. He was garbage for 45 minutes. But when did we equalize? 58 minutes, something like that? 68 minute? Højbjerg equalized, and it's like around the 60th minute is kind of whenever I'm looking at to get some substitutions going. Cubes, I'm going to save the Adama Traore talk for
Friday.
a little bit later.
I also plugged the Friday.
Oh, do I got to save it for Friday? Do I not get to talk about it at the end of this?
No.
No?
We're not getting into Wolves.
No.
We're not getting into Wolves, my friend. We gotta wait for that for
Yeah,
Friday.
you're right. I'm ready to talk
Hey,
about
Friday's gonna be a special day. Friday's gonna be a special day. I might have a surprise for you. We'll see.
Oh,
We'll see.
a surprise on Friday.
We'll see.
Man, the first half though, like I'm gonna talk about all positions here. Everyone was atrocious. The back three, I thought Romero looked like he was struggling a bit. Dyer's struggling the whole match. Davies was struggling. So I thought that they were all bad. And then I thought that our wingbacks were both very bad. I thought that our midfielders were just not good. I don't know if they were awful or bad, but they just weren't good. And I think the front three, I didn't even know Kane and Kulusevski were playing for a while. All I saw was Son getting manhandled, and that's pretty much all I saw from the front three. I was just like kind of wondering where's Kane? Where's Kane? And in the first half, people started talking, right? They started saying, oh, Son doing this. He ain't doing that. The first goal, blame Son, He was literally getting tackled by Reece James, who is twice the size of him.
Cubed is hilarious.
What's Cube saying? Mike again treating Jacob like he's his legal guardian. Mike, the only adult on the live stream. Shout out, Michael. I texted my buddies that I don't know if they're watching right now, but I texted some buddies that we were going live. We were recording the episode live, and they were like, I said it's family friendly, and they replied, "Bro, your show's not family friendly." And I was like, No. This ain't pop up with Jacob. This is an episode. Michael's on. He'll keep me in check. Like, so people know pop up with Jacob's TV MA, if you know what that rating is. TV mature. So we're very mature on that stream, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Big shout out to everyone who pops up and pops out with Jacob. But
also, I saw it earlier. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, there it is. Sorry. I apologize. I formally apologize for not saying Rodrigo Bentancur the first time I mentioned him. I do apologize.
That's your fault,
sorry,
man.
Mile High Hotspur.
So,
subscribe to Mile High Hotspur, by the way. Shout out Mile High Hotspur.
Big up, Leo. But man, that first half, I could point at anyone on that 11 and be pissed at.
For me, sweep it under the rug. Move on.
Halftime, Conte, I was like, man, he better get in there and start smacking some booty cheeks. They call it a little towel whip.
That's again one circumstance where I wish I was a fly on the wall for that Conte halftime team talk.
What is this?
Look,
you shit?
Now, let's talk about our goals in the second half. All right, 68th minute. A little bit of controversy.
No.
Well, in neutral.
Yeah,
a little bit of controversy. Early in the second half, around 67th minute, Havertz gets tackled by Bentancur. I will, along with the rest of Tottenham fan lore, I will say it was a clean tackle. But anyways, Havertz gets tackled by Bentancur. Play on, says the referee, Anthony Taylor. And obviously, the chance gets created outside the box. Ben Davies does pass it to Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, and he smacks it in from the top right corner of the box, just outside the box. Very, very good pinpoint back post shot. Beats Edouard Mendy, and hey, look, the rest is history. But anyways, Jacob, it was a little bit of a, oh shit, we have the ball, pass it, shoot it, oh, it's in. But hey, quality shot by I was gonna say Bentancur. Quality tackle by Bentancur, but quality strike by Højbjerg.
Bentancur, thank you so much, because like Højbjerg, in this very instance, not everyone was feeling the vibes you were giving off, my hombre. But guess what? Once you did what you did, and the fact that he did that and it making everybody so mad and everyone, this is what makes me so angry about being in America, because we're subjected to ESPN FC as being like the major soccer analyst here in the States, right? And I watched it back today just to see what kind of bullshit they were spewing, and they were all like, "Oh, that first goal shouldn't have happened," because every single one of them were like, that first goal shouldn't have happened because of the illegal tackle from Bentancur. We've seen the replay, and they showed it of him getting the ball first, and they're like, "Yeah, clearly that's a foul." foul. It should have never happened. Should have been a free kick for Chelsea. And then they said the same thing about our second goal. Should have never happened just because Cucurella wants to commit assault on Romero. His poor hand got tangled in the web that is Cucurella's hair. Like, that's not his fault, bro. That's not his fault. But they want to tell us that both of them goals aren't technically, shouldn't have been allowed, and Anthony Taylor did a shit job. Big up Anthony Taylor. But that first goal, I was more worried that Richarlison was blocking the keeper. But it did look like he got a good side of it. He made a move for it. Mendy's a top goalkeeper, so I don't give a shit if Richarlison was blocking his vision. And quite frankly, I played so many Sunday league games, type, beer leagues, if you will, where people block my vision and ain't nobody blow no whistle for me as the keeper. So no love lost. I don't feel bad for the guy. I'm just sorry that, that was, I read that. I was like, whoa, what is going on here, buddy? Man.
Look, what I thought about when the Chelsea fans were complaining about both calls. We'll get into the Harry Kane equalizer in a little bit. Don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen. I thought back to when Thiago Silva fouled Harry Kane in the box when he was going to score, and they didn't call anything. And they said, or what? I think they called a foul on Harry Kane or something like that, right? I think Silva flopped.
Mm-hmm. He
Come
felt
on, man.
Bro, he like
Chelsea get those calls all the time. All the time. So I thought back to when Thiago Silva flopped and Harry Kane scored and they called it back. And I don't feel sorry for them one bit. I don't give a fuck. Fuck Chelsea.
Fuck them.
They deserve to have calls go not in their favor every once in a while. Because they do. They get lucky a lot. They really do. And I hate them.
Scott M says Kane fouled Silva, and Scott M, big ups to the loyal.
But he didn't, Scott.
Loyal supporter of the show, but no, I don't believe he did. If I tickle you in the back, if I give you a little a little tickle in the back, that's not a foul, my friend.
It was a...
Especially when you're that big, bro. Thiago's huge. He's a big thickum. You know what I mean? You don't just tickle him in the back and he fall over like that. That was a floppity.
So I have no sympathy.
No sympathy.
All right, my friend.
Yes.
Before we get into the second goal. Oh, I was pointing out what the... Oh, I'm sorry, Scott. I'm sorry. No disrespect.
Oh, I thought you were saying it as fact, and I was going to be upset.
Before we get into the Harry Kane equalizer, the second half, we made changes. Richarlison came on. Perisic came on late. Basuma came on as well in the middle of the second half. For me, if the subs were not available, like if we did not have Richarlison, Basuma, and Perisic, we would not have gotten anything out of that game.
1,000%.
So for me, you mentioned Perisic a little bit earlier. I actually thought he wasn't like too great. He did look a little rusty, but obviously the class is permanent, obviously, and we saw it in both crosses. Both crosses were great from the corners after some disappointing crosses before that. But Richarlison comes on. We've already talked about it and his impact. Yves Bissouma coming on and replacing Bentancur in the midfield.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's a player you love, Jacob. He's a player I love as well. But I think he was a little shaky. I thought he was a little shaky when he came on, just kind of similar to Southampton. But I thought he got better. He grew into the game. And I think he adjusted, and he lifted the midfield along with Hojbjerg. I thought they played pretty well together. I don't know if it could work long term, but I'm just saying don't be surprised if Basuma and Hojbjerg are starting, depending on Basuma's fitness level. But don't be surprised if they're starting on Saturday. For some reason, I have a weird feeling Ryan Mason's going to do something crazy. But what were your thoughts on the substitutions, Jacob? For me, they were essential. They were key, and we wouldn't have gotten anything without them.
No, 1,000%. That's something that has been unanimous among everyone, whether it be the shit-stained programming that is ESPN FC, whether it be other streams you watch here on YouTube. Pretty much the consensus is Fly Richie. Is that because of the pigeon? It's unanimous. Cubes, you always derail me, but big ups to you, Cubes. The main thing that's unanimous among everybody is that I oh man, when I look at us last year, we don't win this game, right? That's what everyone says. You look at this game, we don't win it. We lose that 4-0, 4-1, 5-0, 5-1, something like that. And we definitely were lucky enough throughout that game to, Mason Mount had some chances, Havertz had some chances, and they missed them. Good thing that they're not quality players, because or else we would have had to pay the price. But so it's good that the unanimous thing is that looking at us last year to the right now, it's like this is a game that we pulled something out of the hat, and we didn't deserve to get any points out of that game, but we pulled something out. So that's nice to see that everyone's kind of agreeing on that. But when you look at these substitutions, like I kind of mentioned earlier in the episode, that Richarlison, when he came on, the demeanor of the team changed, our intentions changed, our whole attitude changed, our formation changed, led to a goal, unfortunately. But to me, whenever we brought Perisic and Basuma on, and Lucas Moura there at the right wing, didn't he come on at the same time?
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot to mention Lucas. But
big up Lucas playing that right wing back.
That much of an impact as much as the other subs.
I thought it gave us a chance to get back to the Conte tactics and get back with our wing backs and get out of a back four. And then we really started to see something change. And we got the equalizer. Like, it's hard to argue with what Conte did. I mean, I know Conte's getting a lot of flack and a lot of blame. People have been breaking down the tactics of the games. I've watched a lot of YouTube. Shout out whoever the fuck. Been watching those YouTube channels. But the common theme is that people seem to think that Tuchel just outclassed Conte. And I kind of disagree. But at the same time, I thought Tuchel did throw something out. Like, that formation was kind of weird, right? Like, where he was playing players.
Yeah,
it just seemed kind of strange. So, like, maybe he changed stuff up and
kind of. It was like it kind of changed, webbed and flowed, but basically, like, just the three midfielders, they were key. And then obviously we already mentioned it, man. But Loftus-Cheek, Reece James, and I thought Cucurella was pretty good as well.
Except for the assault.
Just ran the game. Oh yeah, obviously.
I mean, why would you do that to just someone who's just standing there? You know what I mean? I've never once thought about entrapping and assaulting someone's hand and tangling them up, with my hair. That just never occurred to me to use my hair as a weapon. But here we go, Cucurella. I mean, he showed us how it's done. So big ups him. There's been some really fun Photoshops and designs coming out of that whole incident too.
Oh yeah.
I love Romero so much, man.
All right, man. 96th minute. Cucurella commits assault on Christian Romero.
Bastard.
Ivan Perisic steps up to take the corner kick, the second in a row. And Harry Kane heads it in. Absolute scenes in the away end. And we get a point at Stamford Bridge. For me, the king. The king's back. And he's here. First goal of the season for Harry Kane, ladies and gentlemen. First of many to come. I have already said it. He is going to score at least 32 goals this season. And hey, it starts now. It starts with Chelsea away. Anyways, Jacob, obviously really, really good corner taken by Perisic. It's something that we were really, really missing last year. Sonny, he did have some good crosses, but in terms of, just that whip on the ball, that different class of the curve of whipping it in. You can see it, man. You can really see it in Ivan Perisic, and it was really good to see. But for me, this is a team that dug deep. Yes, maybe we did get a little bit lucky, but this is a team that dug deep, stood strong, and you already mentioned it, Jacob. We do not win this game last year. We do not get anything out of this. Or I'm sorry. Well, obviously we didn't win anyways, but we do not get anything, out of this game last year. Yeah, and cubed. Yeah, it was a little cringy that Kane called his equalizer the winner, and I just did the same. So you know what? We're connected. That just means we're connected. and I forgive him. And hopefully you forgive me, Cubed. I'm sorry.
You know, to me, you could call it the equalizer. You could call it the winner. To me, any way you call it, it was the dagger. Yeah. Because we shanked them in the back. We said Julio Cesar, kachaka, right in the back. You know, we stuck it in. Tuchel didn't like it. So he just wanted to hold on to Conte just a little bit longer because, you know, sometimes when you stick it in, you just want to hold on a little bit longer.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I would want to hold his hand a little bit longer.
Bro, I would be pulling him in, and he'd be like, "Let go," and I'd be like,
"No, bring it in." Yeah,
give me this. Take my shirt off.
You're like swallow him. You're like probably double his size.
I'd kidnap that man inside my shirt and run out the stadium with him if I could. So Conte, if you're watching this, don't think that I would actually do that unless you were down. Big ups. I see we got some newcomers in the chat. Big ups, Stuart. Says big up Mike, Jacob, and everyone in the chat. Cubes calls Kane the savior. I do agree. Eugen with Spurs Suasion. Hello. Says hi everyone. Big up. Hashtag back Conte King Kane from the lane. Cubes, you're not alone in the chat. We got some other chatters. They're chatting with you. When we see you chatting, I'm just trying to stay on topic because if you don't remember, about 5 minutes ago, I was lost for words because you were distracting me. So. That's the fun part about doing this live, right? Man, Tuchel, you know he's pissed.
Let's talk about it.
He's pissed.
Full time, 2-2. Conte and Tuchel go to shake hands, and somebody doesn't let go of Conte. And again, I don't blame him. I wouldn't have let go of his hand either. Tuchel grabs his hand, doesn't let go.
Never let go.
Immediately, and he starts to, point at his eyes. And you know what? You know what I say to this? I say 2-2, motherfucker. 1 point each. Suck it.
I mean, I'll flash real quick.
I just want to ask you and the rest of the chat. Yeah, I just want to ask you and the rest of the chat real quick. How quickly does Conte body Tuchel in the ring? 1v1.
Body. Put that man on body. How quickly? At least in the 96th minute. That's what I'd say. You could let him go all day. I don't think when Tuchel did the whole look me in the eyes, bro, you ugly with them bug eyes. Ain't no one trying to look you in the eyes. Your wife ain't even trying to make eye contact with you over dinner, let alone Antonio the Don. Come on, man. Ain't no one trying to look at that Skeletor motherfucker. Come on. I ain't trying to look at his eyes. The way he Bambi pranced down the sideline, bro.
Yeah, real quick.
Oh my God.
Alejandro. Thank you for tuning in. Man really ran past Conte like he won the Champions League or something. And Jacob, I texted you on Sunday when I was driving home from work, and I said, man really thinks he's prime Mourinho right now. Like if he's like winning the Champions League or something, or like the Premier League. Bruh, relax. Yes, the energy of the game. But, Conte said it post-match on his Instagram story. If I would have saw that, I would have tripped you, and I would have laughed. And I would have laughed too. Yeah, man. Dude's a dumbass. I don't like him. I don't like him at all.
I think this is a clear example of blowing your load too soon. Big up Bobby K. Didn't mean to talk about blowing loads too soon and Bobby K in the same sense, but go check out 3 Spurs Boys, big channel. Good things over there. But, man, you start running and dancing and prancing like Bambi on ice, running across them thing with your skinny jeans on. He thought he was so cool. Boy, I was so mad. I was sweating. I was heated. I started getting so angry because I really just wanted to kick them little legs out from under him. I really feel like that calf, man, you kick it once, just it'll break, bro. You're a little man. So that was not classy. That's not a classy manager.
The worst part about it, they both receive red cards. Well, obviously the worst part about it is Conte receives a red card and is now suspended for the Wolves game, and none other than Ryan Mason at the helm this Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not worried because he's been working with Antonio Conte. Yeah, Antonio Conte's going to tell him exactly what to do. Here's the thing. All that showed me is that Conte got in his head and got the last laugh because this guy's so worried. If you've ever seen Thomas Tuchel post-game, he barely makes eye contact with the opposition manager. But then he wants to cry and boo-hoo. The beautiful Antonio Conte, he didn't look me in the eyes. Like, shut up. Cry harder. Inject that into my veins. Because quite frankly, the fact that he was like, oh, you need to look me in my eyes when he doesn't even do it shows you he got rattled. Man's got shook. He got twisted. And I mean, you could borderline say that, like, he took that man's lunch money. It's just like, post game, he was smiling, laughing, trying to act like it's all funny because he's like, oh, yeah, I need to get in Antonio's head because he got into mine. And, bro, the game was already over at that point. Antonio had already done what he did, and we stole a point at your home. We didn't deserve it, and we got it. Like you said, like we've all said, we would have been able to do that last year. We did it this year. Tide is turning, my friend. The times are changing, and we're heading for glory, glory, glory. Tottenham Hotspur. Come on.
Jacob.
Come on.
Your man of the match and BDE of the match.
My man of the match. My man of the match. I got to get a big shout out to my father-in-law, Nick Hansopoulos. He makes a lot of music here for the show and for everyone. So big ups to him. I got to get him to work on something like a little song I can play for like man of the match. And BD. Mine is going to be man of the match, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Hate all you want, hate all you can. The Viking does what no man can. So he's got the goal. He played a full 90 minutes. When you look at his passing, 34-38. That's 89% passing, okay? 1 key pass, 2 out of 3 on his long balls, 1 big chance created, shots on target 1. Ground duels, he won 4 out of 6. Lost possession 7 times. For 56 touches and losing the ball 7 times, that's pretty damn good. The stats only tell you about half the story. Your eyes will tell you the other half. I just thought that the second half, he really turned things around for our team. And he was the main catalyst of the reason we got that equalizer, along with Bentancur. But man of the match got to be Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
All right. You want me to give my man of the match and then we'll go BDE together?
I want BDE together. I like that. I think you give your man of the match and BDE, then I'll finish mine off with BDE.
Right. My man of the match. All right, Cubed. I think you were designated last time to keep count. Count it for Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I don't know if I've ever actually given him a man of the match before.
No, this is the first.
I think this might
I'm
be the
supposed to be
first
writing this
time.
down.
I'm gonna be honest, man. Obviously I've been giving him some stick when necessary. I have been a little bit hard on him, but he's turned it around, man. I thought he was poor in the first half along with the rest of our team, but you mentioned it. You already mentioned the stats. I'm not gonna go through anything too specific, but he dug deep. He stuck with it, and he was one of the main catalysts for that comeback. So for me, he takes my man of the match as well. My BDE. 2 weeks in a row. Christian Romero Kuti. He's my BDE. Get the fuck out of the way, Marc Cucurella. Get the fuck out of the way, Kai Havertz. The best center back in London is here. BDE of the match, Christian Romero. What about you, Jacob?
Scott M says this is nuts. C Cube says, has I been designated? I didn't know. Alejandro, his celebration was kind of cold, to be fair.
Including the away end, man. I love it.
Cube's man of the match is Conte, and BDE's Conte the Godfather. Stewart asks, Jacob, is that Tottenham man of the match or complete man of the match? I know if you say complete man of the match, you're going to pick one of them blue-shirted bastards, and I don't want that. So let's keep it
Tottenham man of the match.
Tottenham keep it Tottenham.
Sorry, man. This is a Tottenham
big up Scott M. He's going to, in an effort to differentiate, I'm going to stick with the answer I gave for a man of the match on another stream. I think on Pop Up with Jacob, I gave my man of the match to Antonio Conte, and I'm going to give him the BDE as well, because at no point did this man at all back down. Did he flinch? He didn't do none of that. When we went down 1-0, you know what he did? He did this. And then he went back to work. You know what I mean? And Tuchel's over there looking like a dingleberry. All right. You know what he did? I didn't let that bother me. And then we equalized. You know what he did? He celebrated. He went wild. And he was like, fuck you, Tuchel. And I thought that was a beautiful sight. And Tuchel obviously got very upset with that. He got very upset with that. Because, they had a little squabble after the first equalizer. What's up, Vestal? Check him out on Twitch. That Vestal on Twitch. Make sure you check him out. It's my buddy. Thanks for tuning in. But Antonio Conte, after that second goal, he ran down the tunnel. He ran everywhere. Except he wasn't as showboaty and unclassy as Tuchel was about it. But the scenes on that bench, absolutely magnificent. Inject that 1,000 times. I mean, the game ending was great enough as it was, right? When at full time, I was like, man, this is fantastic. I loved everything I've seen. And at that moment, my BDE was with you, Romero. Romero. I mean, he was everywhere, and he was doing things fantastically. The shithousery, the hair pulling. I mean, I can go on for days. There's a damn skeeter in here, and I'll kill you. But Antonio Conte, after that full-time whistle, boy, he let your ass go. It was always a big squabble and it was a big back and forth.
You dare touch me?
You dare? I barely even wanted to touch your grimy, greasy little fingers. And now you're trying to smell me because my cologne smelled good? No, thank you, Tommy Tucci. Get the fuck out of here. So he won my BDE at that point because it just showed the fight that he has, the fight our team has. It all came to a boiling point. And Tuchel felt the heat. He felt the magnitude. He felt the wetness, the moisture, everything that we're building. He felt that, and he's worried. And that's why he reacted that way. And Antonio Conte, he just got Tuchel to show his hand. So to me, he won that duel. He won that battle. I don't care what the tacticals say. I don't care that we weren't our greatest. At the end of the day, we stole a point from Stamford Bridge, something we couldn't do last year.
Spot on, my friend.
BDE, Antonio Conte.
Well, Jacob, we're 50 minutes into the pod. I want to say hit the like, hit the subscribe button. And Jacob, what's your one final thought today before we wrap up the pod?
My one final thought, and they typically, most of the time, are always going to have something to do with Sonny. Because when I think about my final thoughts for Tottenham and for the pod and for everyone, I almost caught him. It is usually revolving around Sonny. So my one final thought is going to be, if you're going to talk about Son and his performance, please bring up Kulusevski. Please bring up Harry Kane. Okay? Harry Kane was a ghost. I know his Instagram post, he says, spicy. I like, spicy. To me, my first thought was ghost pepper spicy. It was spicy as hell, but also ghost. Because he ghosted until the 95th minute, 96th minute. And then Harry Kane won't show up, which I'm glad he did. Don't get me wrong. I'm very much glad he did. But my thought is this, that if you're going to slander the arguably second, some would say the best player on our team, in Heung-min Daddy, Heung-min Wetness, Heung-min Hung, Heung-min Moisture. I'm sorry you're shaking, you're scratching, you're getting tired of my Heung-mins, but I'm telling you.
Ever.
I could see it in your face. You're like, oh God, here he goes. If you're gonna talk down on my mans, then you better talk down on everyone, because it ain't his fault. It ain't his fault Anthony Taylor ain't seen Reece James body up Son 3 times in the first half. That's gonna demoralize anybody trying to make run in behind when you got thick old James grabbing you and sticking to you like some maple syrup. So to me, don't hate on our best fucking players. A dude that's completely Tottenham through and through, signed his extension when Kane was in doubt, committed himself.
Nuno.
We had Nuno in Conference League, and he still said, I'm holy motherfucking Spurs, you bastards. So anyone talking shit on my man Sonny, you need to get yourself checked, because real recognize real, and I see Sonny 100 times. That's my one final thought, my friend.
My final thought is I'm going to miss Antonio Conte on Saturday, but I'm glad that the game is on Saturday because I get to watch in the comfort of my own home. It was very uncomfortable watching at work. I was standing the entire time. It was unpleasant.
I
My
typically
one final
stand
thought
for
is I'm
games.
grateful. Saturday game. I know it's an early one for us, Jacob, 5:30 a.m. Speaking of Saturday's game, we have a live on Friday, live on this YouTube channel, our Wolves preview at home, Tottenham Wolves at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But yes, we will be going live at 12:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 7:30 p.m. as always UK time this Friday, previewing Tottenham versus Wolves. Ryan Mason at the helm, Antonio Conte suspended. I'm feeling good. I know Jacob's kind of feeling good about the match as well. I'm not going to give anything out, though, because you're going to have to tune in on Friday live right here on this YouTube channel. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, you want to run through some of these comments
so
too before
much.
we
ahead.
Mile High Hotspur, big ups. Thank you for joining in today. Tuchel with the Grew Legs. C Cube, thank you for always being a supporter of the show, supporter of the channel, and supporter of Michael and myself. Says Conte used a defibrillator to resuscitate the team. Sonny and Undies running rent-free in Jacob's head. If you don't know the photo that we're talking about, you can find it. Every pop-up with Jacob will be featured in every pop-up with Jacob, because how can you pop up without young man daddy? I mean, how can you do it? She also says Mike is such a supportive parent to Jacob. That's true. You're very supportive of me, and I appreciate you. Alejandro, thank you for joining in today. Says Conte probably showing those sunny pics in the dressing room at halftime to bring life back into the team. You know what? Just real quick,
Can't neither
because
confirm nor deny, and it's never been disproved.
there you
this
go.
Theory, so
If you're on Spotify, you might want to check the video right now. These are the pictures. If you're on YouTube, you're subjected to these photos. Sorry, Scott M. Pretty much every stream since these photos have come out, I've shown them to Scott M. If Scott M is still here, he definitely just got subjected to them too. Love you, Scott M. C Cube says, cheers, boys, my favorite American Spurs duo. Thank you for that. It means a lot. Scott M, big up, guys, and everyone in the chat. Eugen, big up. Thanks for being here today. He says, we will appeal the Conte suspension. I sure hope so, buddy.
Hopefully.
Alejandro says, big up, great podcast. Big ups, thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. I think this is a good time to also say, lastly, please hit that like, hit that subscribe here on this channel. We're trying to eventually hit 1K. That's the big goal. But for the short term, we're trying to hit that 300. You guys make that all possible, you guys and you gals. So we appreciate everything you do. Please hit that like and subscribe. If you want to go the extra step above and beyond, down below, you can find the link, patreon.com/United Spurs of America. We already got some supporters in there, so you can join them, be one of the beautiful few. If you go to Patreon, you'll see all the options there, all the different things you get for the different tiers. Right now, the highest tier member we have is the one and only Queen Ellie Hoybier of Tottenham Till I Die. And the 10-inch club, that is a good club to be in, the 10-inch club. You want to be part of that club. Official sponsors club consists of James Joris, J.Co., Mile High Hotspur, that's Leo COYS. Scott M is also, he was technically our first Patreon member, so big up Scott M. Our anchor club consists of C Cube, Jod Dank, and Alex Wood. So big up to you three for being in the anchor club. The ever elusive anchor club that will be soon. Once we get everyone moved over to Patreon, we'll get that thing sorted out. But big ups to everyone in whatever club you're a part of. And if you can't financially support, you don't want to, that's cool too. Just hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that bell, figure out when you're going to pop up with Jacob next. Because there's a new intro song. Should I play the intro song real quick for him?
You got to save it for the actual.
Okay.
You got to save
Bro,
it, man.
you're right. I'm trying to blow too many loads too soon, because I was about to talk about Adama. I was about to talk about the
first
intro.
podcast with the new intro. So shout out Jacob. Thank you for making the new intro, man.
Oh yeah, the intro video, which I'll play here on the outro as well. So
for sure.
Cubes, you want to be part of that 10-inch club. There's also an exclusive BDE club, but that's pretty damn exclusive. You don't want to be in that. I mean, you do want to be in that one, but it's a big bite to chew, so to speak. But there's a few clubs. Head over to that Patreon, Cubes. See if any of those tiers would work for you. No pre-ejaculation, Jacob. No. You're right. Friday. I'm saving it all up for Friday, because you know who we're playing on Friday.
Oh yeah.
You know who is gonna be there. Do you know the man? The one and only Adama Traore. Yeah. He may not even start. You better hope he doesn't start, Michael. You better hope.
I'll hope and pray, my friend. I'll
Better
hope and
hope.
pray. Thank you
I
guys
love
so
it when we
much
play
for
Wolves.
listening to another edition of the United Spurs of America podcast with your hosts, as always, Michael and Jacob. Thank you so much to our subscribers. Thank you so much to our Patreon members. We will be live, like I said, on Friday, 12:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 7:30 p.m. UK time. Big up the lads. We'll see you then. And Jacob?
Come on, you sexy Sunny Spurs. I don't care what anyone says. I like the way you look in them underwear, Sunny boy. Come on, you Spurs. Coos, 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 coos.
United Spurs of America with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.